You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's The Amazing Race After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's The Amazing Race After Show.
We're back.
We are.
Bad.
What? And another good one.
Yeah, I would say so.
I'm
I
happy
enjoyed
that it was a non-elimination. So,
What?
well, I mean, they didn't.
Oh, yeah.
eliminate.
I was like, I don't know what episode.
I was like, did it cut out? And I not.
They kept my girls in.
True. Thing is, we are doing that. Oh, wow. I had a huge brain fart. Is that weird?
No. What?
It's
We're really
weird.
starting off strong here. On
I've been up
AfterBuzz
since 7
right now.
a.m. I'm apologizing for that. Thing is, we are doing the Amazing Race After Show for season 23, episode 5. Get our groove on. I'm your host, James Wallington, who has brain farts tonight.
And I'm Jessica Carroll, who doesn't have brain farts, and I'm with.
Justin Nichols, who always has brain farts.
It's a long day. Damn.
Yeah.
Anyways.
What's in your cup?
Good question. It
Yeah.
needs to be alcohol, though.
Although you can tell that you are in the entertainment industry because you're like, I've been up since 7 a.m. That is a
have.
normal wake-up time for 99%
Do you know
of
how
the
many
working
times I spent-
population out there.
How much time I spent on the 405 today? You lose your mind. So
I'm right there with you.
let's talk about overall thoughts of the episode.
Let's
Justin.
do it. Man, this season, I can't figure it out. I mean, normally when I watch other seasons, you can kind of tell what's happening. This one, in one episode, they go from first to last to first to the middle. I mean, we were talking before the show started, and when I watch these episodes, I just like scream and I clap and I boo and I laugh. I mean, it's just, I'm a mess.
Right.
But I loved it, and I'm, once again, though, very surprised by the outcome. What about you?
Justin?
I thought overall this was a great episode. I actually really liked this episode. First of all the roadblocks and the detours, I loved them.
The U-turn.
The double U-turn, dun dun dun. Play the scary music for Halloween theme. So yeah, I thought it was great, and I'm just gonna stop there.
What about you, James?
I loved the episode as well. I feel like it was so action-packed. I feel like everyone was kind of on the same course. And I think Amy even said at the beginning of the episode, let's get this race restarted because everyone was so close with each other, whether it was on the boat, on the plane, it was an equalizer leg. What I love about this season in general is just how much strategy is actually being incorporated into everyone's individual gameplay. It's not getting from point A to point B. It's getting from point A to point B, but how can I hinder someone else's game to get me a little bit further than them? And I'm amazed by that.
And it's how to hinder other people, but also help out some of the other teams. I mean, there's real alliances, and people are seriously giving clues and telling them answers in this season, which I haven't seen so much before.
Yeah, it's a very steep learning curve because you didn't see a lot of that, the first episode. And normally, with all the seasons, it takes a little while. But these guys are getting it down quick. And even when they said scenes from next week that we're going to see, next week, those things are going to be even more backstabbing, even more strategy in play. And I can't wait.
I mean, leave it to Marie, though. She's the one that's kind of stirring all the pots.
God bless her. Shocker.
Shocker. Well, we saw at the beginning of this episode that Tim and Marie did, in fact, give their express pass to
Thank
Travis
you.
and
I'm
Nicole.
so happy
Yes.
that they don't have it anymore. She can't wave it.
I mean, I thought it was very interesting how trusting Travis and Nicole were. They didn't get it from Tim and Marie right then and there. They said, all right, we got your word, and then they carried it out.
That surprised me. That really surprised me because it's not like you can trust anyone on this race.
Yeah.
Alliance or not. I mean, I would have been like, we were not moving. Also, though, on the flip side, we talked about this briefly last week. If I was Tim and Marie, why didn't you just flip your taxi around and say follow them?
Right.
Why even give up the express pass?
Yeah.
But it looks like they needed it.
And the fact that she gave it to Nicole and Travis on the boat, really secretive, is so Marie.
Well, let's talk about that.
Oh.
Let's talk about what they didn't show, shall we?
Yes. Give me the
So,
gossip.
if you go to the YouTube Amazing Race channel,
Yes.
they actually show bonus clips.
Yes.
And there was actually a failed attempt that they didn't show between Nicole and Marie, where they were outside getting ready to board the boat. And all the teams were kind of in a holding area, it seemed like. And they were outside talking about exchanging. And then Leo and Jamal came out in the middle of this conversation. And they were like, whoa, what's going on over here? And Nicole's like, oh, we're having a private conversation, gentlemen, like, if you don't mind. And they're like, no, we're not going to go back inside. Like, and then they start talking about how the express pass is being exchanged. And then Marie's like, well, why don't we pretend and throw this huge fight between us right now that you didn't give it to me, or that I'm not giving it to you. So call me the B word, storm in there so they don't think I'm giving it to you anymore. And so Nicole did. And it threw everyone off. They were like, wait. She really didn't give them the express pass, so they didn't show this whole clip, this whole exchange that there was a failed attempt.
Oh.
But another thing they also didn't show is that Nicole did tell Jason and Amy. Remember how they told each other that we're not going to tell anyone that we've given the express pass? But Nicole and Travis did tell Jason and Amy that they were getting the express pass from Tim and Marie.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, I wish they showed that clip. I love all the drama scenes.
It was very interesting because everyone was onto it. And then Marie, being quick-witted, was able to come up with this plan to make it seem like they weren't keeping their promise.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
Now, this boat was kind of nice because it gave them quite, get some time to, relax because this was a 30-hour leg of the race.
34
they
hours.
said. Or, almost a little over 30 hours.
Yeah, and this boat was really an equalizer. And I kind of felt bad for Brandon and Adam because they were so far ahead of everyone. And then once they found out that the boat left at 8:30 p.m., it really put everyone back on the same page.
Which kind of puts what you were saying in perspective, that you don't like that. You don't like how there's an equalizer leg because of this very reason. In this sort of situation, I can see that. It kind of sucks when they've been kind of a strong front runner for that previous leg, and now, all right, no one got eliminated.
And I get for television reasons, you can't have one team that is days ahead. I mean, if you never had equalizers, but there's just times where I wish if it was an equalizer, everyone just kind of woke up at the same time. They just said, you know what, it's an equalizer. Instead of saying, get up at 3 in the morning, race here, and then you're like, oh, I'm waiting until 8:30 p.m., which is when this boat left.
Right.
On the flip side, because we love them, I'm so excited that our girls, Nikki and Kim, they were so sad when they went and they checked in, and then they realized they weren't eliminated. They're so excited. And I love about them is their energy from being in last. They could have started this next half of this leg in a bummer mood, but they kept up their spirit the entire time. And I love them. So this is the one time where I'm kind of taking back what I said. And I'm really glad for this time there was an equalizer because I love them so much.
Oh, me
But
too.
then on the double side, on the other side, is that Brandon and Adam were first on the leg, and then they were last and ended up going home. So it's like they lost their lead that they worked so hard to get.
Yeah.
But that's, again, another thing I love about the race, though. You can't predict
You really
anything.
don't know,
Yeah, so they arrive in Poland, this boat, there's a whole, the express pass exchange, and then once they get there, what seems like the easiest part of the day is going to be just simply getting in a taxi, going to the shipyard, and all will be fine. And for all but 3 teams, that's how it was. They drove right to the box, and they got their clue, and I don't think even the producers probably thought this was going to be a big part of the show because they just needed to start the show with getting that clue. But apparently for 3 teams, three taxi drivers, this massive shipyard was just oblivious to them.
Yeah.
And once again, Tim and Marie didn't read their clue clear enough and carefully enough, because on the clue it said, the historic square or whatever, and they just told the taxi driver to go
to the
shipyard in general. And so that kind of messed them up, and then Marie got all fussy that no one could speak their language.
And what I found interesting was Tim, who normally keeps a pretty positive attitude, was kind of like, of course this is happening. We're in Poland and no one speaks English. I hate it here. And boo. But yeah, it was Tim and Marie. We had the Ice Girls, Allie and Ashley, I believe, in the Afghanimals.
Yep.
They all 3 had their taxis together, and they just could not find the damn start of the race.
Oh, man. I just have to say, Allie and Ashley are great followers. They've really never taken the lead.
No. But it's gotten them. It's gotten
it's
this
working
far.
for them, but I don't know what's gonna happen because they're definitely followers.
I mean, eventually, they're gonna have to start taking some leads, right?
Because they're just barely getting by. Like the last 3
Yeah.
legs, they've gotten 7th.
Right.
So it's just kind of like, when is their time gonna come?
No.
You know?
We will see. So once they though eventually do find where they're supposed to go, but it puts those 3 teams at a disadvantage so far. But they all have to go to the Golden Gates here in Poland. Gdansk. Is that my close?
Gdansk? Yeah.
We're gonna go with that. I'm sorry to everyone listening in Poland if I butchered your city's name. By the way, what a beautiful part of Europe, isn't
Yeah.
it? I was really surprised.
Beautiful. That's also what I love about the show is you get to see the world through the eyes of the cast.
Yeah, it was great. So, but I don't know if I want to be seen doing these next challenges because it was either
I would pay
pose
money to see you do
or polka. And let me tell you, I don't know if I've laughed so hard this season until I saw our boys from Oklahoma. God bless. So anyway, with pose or polka though, what were the 2 challenges?
So pose, they had to dress up in this really funky black onesie bodysuit with a beard and
These pitchforks.
To look like the
pitchforks
statue of
to look
Yeah.
like the statue Neptune, and capture 75
Whatever the
equivalent.
currency is.
whatever the currency is. So
75
that
something.
was pose. And then the other one was polka,
Yeah.
and they had to perform a dance routine by watching and learning the choreography.
But what was so great was,
But they had to dress up in costume, and one was a girl and one was a boy. So for the 2 male teams, this was quite a show.
Tim and you know, and this thing, you know, it was one of those where if we had our good friends Rowan and Shane, the drag queen bingo players, they would have been in their
All
element.
about
They would
it.
have loved it. But to get these boys from Oklahoma who work on the oil rigs, and I can only imagine how much shit they're getting after this episode. So one of them had to be the girl, and was he upset about it?
They played rock, paper, scissors for this in the car, and Tim was not gonna be a girl. He was, oh, you're skinnier, you have better legs, you're gonna be the girl, Danny. But hey, Danny, he pulled it off, and he definitely showed off his muscles. I was checking his arms out.
Yeah, he definitely pulled it off. And I think a lot of that bitterness about having to wear the dress actually kind of affected them more than they realized in that detour. Like, I think Danny was so upset still about the dress issue that he was getting really anxious with Tim.
And frustrated. Like, he kind of took on the persona of that costume and just got kind of huffy and puffy and throwing a little fit.
Oh, come on, you guys. Tim was literally lifting him in the air, and his dress was flowing. That was hilarious. They definitely, as they said, they have 2 left feet.
Gosh, that was...
But they got it through.
It was so funny. Yeah, so those that did polka. The pose, though, and this is where some teams then all of a sudden really helped themselves out, and most specifically our girls, Nikki and Kim, because they decided to do pose. And they were one of the first teams that said, let's do pose. Yeah. And man, I think because they were cute girls, it's hard to tell what they were, but you could tell by their voices that they were sweet. Man, did they gain some ground doing pose.
Well, their energy just in general draws people in.
Yeah.
And so the fact that, yes, they are good-looking girls with great figures, so their little tight onesie showed that off. And they were so adorable. We love Poland. And they said that they looked like Spider-Woman. And they were just so cute. And so I had no doubt that they were going to be able to fulfill this task.
I was kind of surprised by Travis and Nicole because when they saw the 2 options, they immediately said, we love to dance, and they chose to do the polka. But then they also struggled. Big time. And it was actually, I feel like it was Nicole that really struggled. I think they showed some things. She was kind of being drug around the dance floor. Her feet weren't even moving.
She did have a little bit of moment of frustration with Travis. Like, lead me.
My favorite part of the dance was when the guy at the very end fell on the ground, and then the girl had to sit on his feet.
Oh, yeah,
a little pose.
Pose.
Yeah. And watching once again the Oklahoma boys try to do that was priceless. Jason Amy rocked it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Do we expect anything less from them? Like, they are just rocking it.
Yeah.
They are.
And
And
I
if-
think Amy was the dancer. She looked like she was. So.
Yeah, they even said that Amy was kind of the puppeteer and Jason was definitely the puppet, where she was just guiding him
Right.
throughout the whole dance. But smart strategy
Yeah.
because they also did very, very well. So here's what I loved though. No matter which one you chose, they didn't realize that once they completed their challenge, the next part was you have to continue
Stay.
to wear your costume.
I was just feeling for Danny.
Right?
Oh man, he not only did he have to be the girl, he had to be a girl all day.
Especially in a foreign country where, I don't know how they take that.
Yeah, you're in a foreign country, and it's not like they were in some remote mountain where no one's gonna see them. They were in like the city center with thousands of people, and this guy that's already super self-conscious about wearing a dress now is like, go ahead and stay in that all day and run around in front of all these people in your dress.
Right.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah. One couple that had a big problem was Tim and Marie.
Yeah, I was actually really shocked by that.
I was too.
From the taxi to not really knowing where they were going half the time to fighting and bickering a lot. I think they were just so not in their element, which I was surprised by because it's like, it's the fourth leg of the race.
Yeah.
Don't you think you should kind of be able to keep rolling with the
Right.
punches?
Do you think that the taxis are the reasons why they probably decided just to give up because they already got so far behind? I mean,
To use the express pass?
yeah.
Well, no, because I understood their logic. Like, Tim and Marie didn't even question it. They wanted to use it because they were worried the other teams would get to the double U-turn before them, and they figured that they were going to be the number 1 target.
Right.
So, like, we might as well use it now. But then I was thinking, why? Like, if you have a shot at actually completing this, which they've proven to be strong contenders when it comes to these challenges, I would have waited, done the actual detour, because
Yeah.
it seemed pretty simple, then go to the double U-turn thing, because it didn't seem like any of the teams were actually gunning for them. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? They just assumed that they were going to be a target, but they should have waited because if they were up on the W turn board,
Then
they
they
could have
used
used
it.
that express pass. They used
Yeah.
it too soon, but it wouldn't have mattered.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like they gave away their express pass too soon, and then perhaps used this one today too soon. But yeah, because the teams that just stuck with Pose got through it pretty quickly.
Right.
Right.
So it was interesting. I
Yeah.
was really surprised by them. I don't know. So,
And I felt bad for Brandon and Adam because they started with Pose
oh, poor guys.
and they were just, oh man, I felt bad for them. They were saying the wrong things and
Well, they kind of did what I thought the challenge was supposed to be, where I was under the impression they had to kind of have the perfect form, just like the statue, and they had to be perfectly still. So I feel like when they tried it the first time, there wasn't a lot of them talking or interacting with the crowd. They were just trying to get it exactly right.
Yeah.
Where we saw from Nikki and Kim, yeah, you could be kind of close, but basically just be bubbly and fun
Yeah.
and kind of interact with the audience,
Right.
and you'll be fine.
yeah.
You know, and I think that that's where they kind of screwed up, was they were just trying to be quiet, you know, and
Yeah.
be statuesque.
I didn't even, when I first heard of this task, I didn't know that they could even speak. I thought they had to just stand there still and
Yeah,
like, you know, those still people in Vegas?
Yeah.
That's what I thought they had to do.
me too.
So I was surprised that they could talk.
What would you guys have chosen to do, polka or pose?
Polka,
Yeah,
for sure.
I think I would have done polka, but I love dancing.
yeah. I'm terrible at dancing, but I think I would have chosen polka as well, just because I thought I can't be silent. It's not in our
Right.
personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just assumed a silent statue.
And I can't hold still for more than 2 seconds. So.
No, nor I.
I would have gotten frustrated because it's all black and they kept saying how hot it was, and then the crowd, it's give or take if they're
Yeah.
actually going to give you money.
Yeah.
So polka, it's like you just have to kind of go with it.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that surprised me though is with Tim and Marie, they ended up getting to the W turn quite quickly because they used their express pass,
Mhm.
and then they kind of had that exchange with each other about how they were wanting to actually U-turn Nicole and Travis, and then I think Marie said, "Well, what if they were already here? What if they were
Yeah.
already Travis and Nicole actually weren't there
Weren't
yet?"
there.
And they're like, "No,
Yeah.
we're not going to U-turn them. Just keep going." Which I thought was funny because it's like they could have U-turned the strongest
And
team
if they
in the
did,
race.
they already gave up their express pass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So they would have had to go back.
yeah.
I was surprised how many teams in the thick of it, because they were racing pretty close to each other, the teams that did polka and pose. It was a very tight race.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised how many teams were still like, don't make enemies, let's not use it. Da, 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 da."
Yeah.
I mean, I was impressed because in this point in the stage, they're starting to have, some alliances, but also there's some enemies being created here. And I was really surprised the teams were like, let's not push that button yet. Let's just keep on racing. I was
That's
really
why I
surprised.
was surprised with Tim and Maria. I just expected it out of them. I really thought they were going to sabotage Nicole and Travis because they wanted Nicole and Travis to be forced into using their express pass. But they didn't.
Yeah, I was shocked. There wasn't only 2 people really pick someone.
Yeah, and I was surprised by that as well, but it ended up kind of helping out a little bit. I mean, I guess. So you get the double U-turn. Poor Nikki and Kim, just one blow after the other. They can't find the crane, so they lose a few places that way. But I'm trying. So the Oklahoma boys, though, they're the ones that first decide to use the U-turn because it took them so long to do that damn polka.
I think of all the teams, I was surprised they were the ones that used the U-turn. I didn't think they had it in them.
I was surprised too, and they had no hesitation.
No.
They were Afghanimals, like right away. They were so confident with their decision.
Wasn't there something that happened at an airport maybe 2 episodes ago where they were kind of rubbed the wrong way because Leo and Jamal had that exchange about plane tickets with them, and they're trying to coerce Tim and Danny to do this certain travel day.
Right, yeah.
What happened was, the Afghanimals and Allie and Ashley, there was just the 2 of them on that flight. And they figured they could for sure beat the Oklahoma boys if they were on that flight as well. So they're trying to convince them to join them. But luckily, these Oklahoma boys, they're learning so quick. I'm so proud of them.
Yeah.
I feel like they're like the little kids. And they're growing up before our eyes. And I think that definitely rubbed them the wrong way and might have been a huge decision why they chose them.
Because they were very adamant about Leo and Jamal. They didn't even question it, like you were saying.
No
it was just like,
hesitation.
Leo and Jamal, done.
Yeah.
But then, of course, once Leo and Jamal get there, they see their picture up there. And it was obvious that they were going to choose Brandon and Adam because they're not going to screw over their ice queens, you know?
Yeah,
Right.
Never. So, with this double U-turn, that means that they had to go back and do both challenges. And I think I felt bad for Brandon and Adam because then when they went back and did the pose now for a second time, they realized just how quickly they could have done it if they just would have stuck with it. Right. I think that's what killed them.
So the quote of the entire episode was from Brandon and Adam when he said, "I'd just be wearing a seashell around my crotch. I wouldn't be wearing a black onesie if I was Neptune." I'm sorry. I did not expect that to come out of his mouth. When he said that, I was, wait, am I hearing this right? Did he just say that he'd be naked wearing a seashell around his crotch?
Which now I'm terrified what they wear in the woods when they're not on the show. I mean,
just
if they're just a little
like rabbit
some
skin or
leaves.
something. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And I also thought when they were getting dressed in their costume, they would have decided to not wear the fake beard because they have a beard already.
Yeah.
So I thought it was kind of funny wearing a fake beard on top of their beard.
But the people of this town were quite friendly, and because everyone, no matter how funny they were, let's be honest, they were all terrible. I mean, they were shaky, but the people were very nice and gave them a lot of money. So they get through that, and then when they get to, they find the crane, and then it's another roadblock. Dun dun dun. The best roadblock ever.
Oh, do you have a sweet
mind
tooth?
you, definitely.
My mouth was watering just watching it.
Ugh.
I wanted to know what that middle part tasted like.
They all look so good.
They all said it was so good too. I kind of want to go out and get a donut after.
Right? Yeah, so when they get this roadblock, they have to go to Poland, or the city is, I think it's Poland's longest residential building.
Yeah.
And that building was crazy.
Over a half mile long.
I mean,
It was
that's
insane.
There and back, and you ran a mile. Ta-da.
Good math.
We're so smart on this show. We're just so smart. And thousands and thousands of people live in this building, and they had to find.
They had to go to 12 apartments and find the, what was it? The rose
flavored
donut.
Yeah. And I love too because they had to be nice, and I love that's when Tim was like, "Oh crap," because for Marie to be nice would be very challenging. Mm-hmm. Just because she's so good at.
I loved it. How they were like, "Thank you so much for letting us in. Okay, great. Moving on. Thank you so much." You know,
Okay, bye.
It tastes great, but this is not the right one. Okay, cool.
Thanks.
See you later.
Bye.
Thanks for welcoming me to your home.
The only ones that were truly naturally in their element, once again, the baseball wives. Oh, she was just like, I just want to stay with them for an
loved it.
hour.
She would
I
give
just
him
want
a
to hang
hug,
out
and
with
then
them.
her hair would fall off, and
I
did
loved
you guys-
when she finally. Oh yeah, and then the guy helped it up, and I loved when she finally opened it up, and she was like, and then the woman's like,
priceless.
Thank you.
Of all the teams, I just want to be friends with them.
Oh, I love that.
I just want to hang out
And
with them.
I finally noticed, I don't know if I picked up on the other episodes, but they actually call themselves bunnies.
Bunnies. Mm-hmm.
Come on, bunny. Let's go,
Come
bunny.
on, bunny.
I just think that's so
I
cute.
want to know where that nickname came from.
They're baseball
The
bunnies.
baseball bunnies.
Is that what it means?
That's what it means,
I
yeah.
don't watch enough sports, clearly.
So sports and mathematics maybe are not our thing.
We're making fun of them.
So yeah, they all race around, and we saw kind of some interesting
Strategy.
teamwork and strategy going on here. And also, it was interesting to see what was happening because only one person from the team could go race around these apartments, right? It was interesting to see what was happening though to the
Yeah.
teammates who were not racing around the apartment.
Yeah.
Especially when Tim is there and he's the only one not in this outrageous costume.
Right.
So everyone's kind
Yeah.
of like, how did this work? And Tim had no answer. Like why were you in a costume? And he was
like,
kind of awkward.
We didn't get one, or we didn't have one.
Because he
Yeah.
didn't read, because they wouldn't have gotten the clue,
The
right?
clue, yeah.
Yeah.
They had to complete that the task earlier to get
To
the clue.
stay-
They stay in
yeah.
the costume.
So that's when everyone noticed. Okay, they used their express pass.
Definitely is their express pass. Yeah.
And then there was a bunch of teamwork going on. So Marie and Amy teamed up,
hmm
and
My favorite, the person that got me the most on this roadblock was Travis. He was just quick and outsmarting team people, like especially, was it Cam that did the roadblock or Nikki? I wish they would have the
I
names
know.
come up every now and then.
Yeah.
Whichever one was doing it, she was taking the elevator. And Travis is like, yeah, well, she's going to take the elevator. I'm going to press the button on every
I
floor.
couldn't believe it.
Brilliant.
I couldn't
Brilliant.
believe it.
Yeah. I was like, oh gosh,
And
so
then
smart.
he sees Amy and Marie, and he just, room blah is where, the correct donut is. And literally, it made the three of them now on the exact same page.
Yeah.
Because at first he was like, well, I've already known that they've been here for a while. So I'm just going to follow them in
So smart.
process of elimination. Ta-da.
Because they would
Right.
not keep racing, as you said, if around the buildings if they had already found it. So the
Right.
fact that they were still racing, he's like, I'm gonna join their team.
Follow
And it
Yeah.
was no surprise that Amy stopped to give him like, these are the ones we have remaining. You do these,
Right.
Marie and I will go do these, and we'll help each other out. So
Yeah. So they all race around once again. Yeah, best roadblock ever. And then once they do that, though, they now are almost there. They have to race to the longest pier in this town.
it's the largest, the longest. I think Poland just has everything. I mean,
Show offs.
Everything big in Poland, I guess.
Yeah, clearly. But it was really close because those three teams that were helping each other out find the donut, those were the three teams that were then literally neck and neck
Yeah.
sprinting on the pier
That
to
was
get
a foot
first
race
place.
at the end.
And I really liked what it was Nicole was saying. She was like, well, that kind of sucks for Tim and Marie that they might not even get first place and they used their damn
Yeah.
express pass, So it was definitely close. But
And they probably might have had an advantage to run faster because they weren't in those huge costumes.
Right.
Running.
yeah. Very, I,
mean-
didn't even think
wasn't
about that.
holding them back. Yeah.
Right. I mean, some of them, like Nicole was in her huge dress, and that's probably hard to run in.
Yeah.
So, going back to the dress, Danny, when he was climbing the stairs, he's like, I've never had to run in a dress, and he was tripping, and
He has like
poor
little running
Danny.
sneakers on. I mean, it was just a mess. And like I said, I wish I could have been in his hometown when this
Watching
episode
this.
aired. Because I'm sure they have like a little like town watching party.
Right.
And I can only imagine what these oil rig boys were saying to him, how much crap he got for running around this apartment complex in his dress.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, of course, Leo and Jamal had to do it too, but it's just because these oil rig guys were so like, I don't want to wear a dress. This is terrible. That made it so
Yeah.
great. But yeah, so the dead sprint and first place,
Tim and Marie
Tim and Marie, and what a trip, Hawaii.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hawaii.
for 5 nights.
Maybe our predictions of maybe they're rekindling their romance.
Yeah, I'm
We'll get a little-
dying to know. I want to know what their story is still.
I know. Why don't you ask
They're
us?
for sure gonna get back together.
I'm going to tweet Marie tonight because I've been
Yeah.
exchanging some tweets with her and I'll figure it out.
I know we'll get into this with like the news and gossip, but I just think it's so great that you are now becoming like close with Marie.
I don't know if I'd
BFF
put
with
close.
Marie.
I'd just like to say we're Twitter BFFs.
You're Twitter BFFs, and it's hard too because it's not like we've always been like the super friendly
positive.
towards our girl Marie. Marie, we love you. However, let's just be honest, she hasn't been necessarily the sweetest gem in the
Yeah.
world.
True.
And now that you guys are going to be Twitter BFFs,
Twitter BFFs.
I'm nervous. She's gonna start like lashing out at us now.
I'm sure you're a really sweet girl, but we just have to talk about our true opinions from what we see on the show.
And how you make great television.
Hey!
Ugh, you guys do. Marie, well done. So Tim and Marie, though, they make great television, a great team because they get first. And then one of our favorites, Jason and Amy, always doing well, always staying strong, staying positive. They rock in at second place.
Mm-hmm.
They should win for Best Couple Award, too.
Yeah, they're
They
so
never
cute.
fight. They're so supportive.
And remind me, do we know how long they've been
I think it's a year.
together? Because I feel like they are racing like they've been together longer.
Yeah.
I mean, they really understand each other, and
Which
they-
speaks volume on their relationship.
yeah, I mean, I really think that this is going to make them stronger instead of tear them apart. At least so far. So much can happen, but so
Right.
far,
Two more
This-
legs from now, their gloves come off.
yeah, exactly. So then third place we have Nicole and Travis. So that's kind of the top three right there. And
And then my girls,
your girls, they are
Nikki and Kim, coming in on 4th place.
from worst to almost first.
Yeah.
Almost first in my
I don't know
mind
what I-
still. But, I mean, just they lost their Hawaii trip and that first place when they couldn't find the W turn.
Yeah.
And I feel
Oh,
like they
that's true.
passed it and then they couldn't find it and then they went back. But if they had found it right away, I seriously think they could have gotten first.
Which is amazing because they should have been eliminated technically if they wouldn't have been a continuation of the
Right.
race. Because if it was a check-in and a real check-in, they would have been eliminated. So it's
Yeah.
pretty impressive that, I mean, they should be thrilled. And they were that they got fourth. So,
They've just stepped up their game.
and then Oklahoma boys in their dresses and all, a solid 5th place. God bless them. 6th,
Leo and Jamal, and then following them are NHL Ice Queens, Ashley and Allie.
we really didn't see a lot.
I
We're
know.
not seeing a lot from them.
They're kind of falling off the
At
wayside.
all.
I just think that they follow. There's not much
Story or depth.
story, yeah.
I don't know, but they keep it on the show, so it's kind of like if they're gonna stay on the show, I'd like them
working.
just. Well, I'd like to see them more
I
because we
know.
don't talk about them a lot. I'm sorry, Alan Ashley, that we don't mention you, but you're not really mentioned on the show a whole hell
Right.
of a lot. You know, it's just kind of like, oh, there's their do their
Be a little
challenge,
more quirky, girls.
Damn
Just
it.
kidding.
and but then
And
because of the double U-turn, they didn't do the pose right, so they went to polka. They clearly struggled with that.
Yeah.
Poor guys went from first
To worst.
to
then
worst.
worst.
Brandon and Adam.
And also the taxi driver, they called the taxi driver
Oh,
who was
that's
driving
right.
with
way to bring that up.
Amy and Jason, right? Amy
Yeah.
and Jason. And they were like, hey, we need help trying to find the Golden Gate. And that taxi driver full on lied.
Oh, I couldn't believe it. And what are the odds, too, yet, that they got a hold of that cab
Right, who
that
was
Jason and
driving.
Amy was in? They had a baller driver that stuck with them the whole time.
Seriously.
And Amy was loving it because she
Oh.
was like, "You're the best," and she's like, "You have no idea what you're in for." And even the driver was like, "This is the craziest day."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like clearly the value of a taxi driver on this race because he
Crucial.
waited for them after every challenge. And then hell, when he got that random phone call, yeah, it was the weirdest thing. He was like, "I don't know where it's at," as he's driving to that location.
Oh, man. That was.
He kind of joined in on the race.
Yeah.
He joined in on the
Hey,
fun.
if I was a taxi driver with cameras and racers and I would totally join too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't happen every day in their town. So I'm sure he was like, I'm going to make the most of this and I'm going to get my 15 seconds of fame, baby.
Yeah.
But, you know, in honor of them, for those of you that are watching on YouTube right now, I am wearing my lumberjack shirt in remembrance of.
sweet.
I know. It's also because it's absolutely freezing cold here in Los Angeles and dark and rainy. So
Yeah.
it was a good
full,
combination.
A full 68 degrees.
It's freezing.
I walked out this morning and I go to my roommate, I think I can see my breath. And she looked at her phone. She's like, it's 61. You're fine.
I think I can see my breath.
Clearly, I wouldn't do very well on some of these part of the challenges because they're way up there.
Yeah.
And I think it's freezing at 61 degrees. Anyway, though, so yeah, a tough leg for Brandon.
How do you think they took the news?
You know what? I think they were actually really crushed. I mean, as you would, but I
yeah.
mean, they took it well, but I think they got a little teary when they were kind of doing their one-on-ones afterwards.
Right.
I don't know. I felt so bad for them.
I felt bad, but I feel overall they took it well. You know, they had a great adventure. They were able to work together. And they were still positive, saying that, hey, we're excited for our next adventure together. I just feel bad because I know they truly needed the money.
Yeah.
They needed the, prizes. Even after the last episode where he said, what was it, $5,000?
You could live off for a year or something.
He could live a year.
Yeah.
I just feel bad because they are people who could use these trips and use this cash.
I
Yeah.
agree.
But they were entertaining, great to watch, and they ended the episode before in first place.
Yeah, and I think they had a great line in there too where they said, yes, we would have loved the $1 million, but we've had $1 million worth of experiences
Yeah.
on this trip. I think that's great because I don't think these guys are typically the ones that are going to be going off to Poland and Norway and all these places on their own.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what a great opportunity for them to have an incredible experience. Unfortunately, it just didn't last quite as long as they wanted.
Yeah. Bad.
Yeah. All right, now for the good stuff.
Yes.
What do you think? News and gossip.
Oh, sure.
Yes, we want to hear your news and gossip.
Oh, I don't.
Pressure's on.
TV news.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily gossip or if it's necessarily news, but I'm a fangirl over it because I've been tweeting with Marie, and I love every time she favorites my tweets. I get really excited because I'm a fan of the show, and it's Marie.
Yeah,
Like,
and I get excited when she likes your tweets and favors your tweets.
I was gonna say you should have seen us because during the week we get this message and it's like, oh my gosh, I am talking to Marie, and I know you were excited, but you probably should have seen us because we were just excited for you that you are talking to them. I'm like, oh my gosh, what'd she say? Does she listen? Oh my gosh.
Text us back.
James,
Well,
what's happening?
I
James,
really
what's
want to
happening?
get a racer's perspective in here. I mean, on last season on our after show, we had one of the previous winners call in, but to have a current racer from the show call in to really kind of gauge this entire experience for us as we watch it, it's huge. And I think our fans would love that too. So I've been talking with Marie via Twitter, and hopefully I got her PR information for her publicist at CBS, and hopefully we can get her to call in at some point.
How awesome would that be?
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Or if there's any other racers that we now know are possibly listening to our
You can tweet
podcast.
us.
I want to get Jason and Amy and Travis and Nicole.
And
And of course, we got to get our baseball wives, Nikki and Kim.
and
Where are you
Kim,
guys
come
calling?
and we know Allie and Ashley, Kings, Queen girls. You guys aren't too far,
Yeah, come on.
That's
Come
a
on
good
in,
point.
right?
Let's make that our mission.
We're
Yeah.
gonna make this happen, everybody.
We're gonna
Watch
go to
out.
a Kings game and find you.
I don't know. And we also have a lot of comments.
Oh, yeah.
People have
we
been
do.
very, very vocal on Twitter, on iTunes, and of course YouTube for those of you that watch. So thanks to everyone that's leaving our comments.
Yeah, we
Thank
love
you.
it.
We had some, and then we asked last week for, what about their predictions. A lot of people were on there giving predictions. So thanks to Joey N. We have David Reynoso, and he kind of kept me in line. He's correcting me whenever I make a mistake. Attaboy. Thank
Which is
you.
the one that kept me in line with the Miss Cleo Twitter?
Yeah, you're being kept in line too.
The
You got-
reason why we didn't talk about it, because we discussed it last week before the
Just
show. I was
to
like,
tell
we
You're
think it's
talking
gonna be
about the
all-
next season.
Yeah, for season 24. We're like, I think it's going to be an All-Stars based on what I know, yada, yada. We discussed it. But to share who the cast is and if for sure it's going to be an All-Stars, I don't want to spoil it for the people out there that want to know and by surprise.
Yeah,
Right.
You know? So why
Until it's
spoil it?
official.
Yeah.
So we're gonna wait till it's official.
Exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, but I always enjoy reading all their comments. So thanks for those of you that are listening and post comments or watching. It's great. It's fun. Yeah. What do you think's gonna happen next?
Predictions.
Predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I'm over predictions.
I'm
I'm over it. It's just too much
I
to
know.
predict.
It's
Too
like-
much goes down, and you think one thing and it's completely opposite. But if I had to guess,
Okay. Yeah.
I'm literally predicting the top 3 teams right now are going to be Tim and Marie, Nicole and Travis, and Jason and Amy. They're getting so much screen time, and you really are invested into their race. I mean, of course, there's other teams you want to see do well, but I really do feel like they're just kind of there.
Yeah.
Those are the forefront teams, those 3 teams. So I'm going to root for those 3 all the way. And I'm going to say that Tim and Marie are going to get first again next week.
Ooh.
I'm actually gonna.
Actually, no, Nicole and Travis, because they have to use their express pass next leg. They have to.
They have to?
Wasn't it? They had to use it by
Like 5. Yeah.
or did they have to give it up by leg 5?
I thought they had to give it up by like 5.
Oh, I may have to go back
but
and look
they,
on that.
I don't know. We'll have to know. And if you guys know, comment. Correct us.
No.
They will.
They will.
Thank goodness for
If
them.
they're forced to use it, then I think Nicole and Travis have a shot at getting first. But last place, I'm gonna say Allie and Ashley again. It is their time. I don't want to keep predicting that they're gonna go home. Like they're gonna go home next week.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Sorry, girls, but you've gotten 7th the last 3 legs, and there's only 7 teams left, so 7th means eliminated.
Right. Bye-bye. I agree with you. I think Allie and Ashley, you guys are great leaders, but I think, or followers, but I think they're going to go home. And I am very confident to say that my girls, Nikki and Kim, are going to stay in for a long time. They're stepping up their game. I'm rooting for you two all the way. I am team Nikki and Kim right here. And I also think that Tim and Danny are going to stay strong. I think that they're doing really well. So I would say the 2 bottom teams, Allie and Ashley, and then Leo and Jamal
Are the next 2 to go.
are the next 2 to go.
I can see that.
I'm actually right, like almost word for word with you. Now I've been wrong every single week, so by saying my
Don't be
predictions,
jinxing me.
I'm totally gonna jinx everything. I think here's where I differ from you though. So Tim and Marie, they got first the very first episode because of a fluke,
Yeah.
right? And I feel like every episode, they don't actually do that well. Something happens to them where they had to, use that express pass, or they had to do this. I just feel like they're getting a lot of airtime because of their personalities, not because they're playing the game necessarily well.
Sure.
That's my personal thing. So
It's like they just kind of get lucky.
yeah, I mean, I can't think of a time where they've like really kicked ass at anything. I mean, I think they're getting airtime, and this express pass, Tim and Marie would not, without that express pass, they could have been in real trouble this
for
week.
sure.
true.
Because of their taxi situation. They didn't know what happened with this pose. Who knows how they would have done with dancing. So I don't think they're going to go anywhere yet. But I'm not going to put them in for the rest of the season top 3. However, I do think Jason and Amy, they're due for a first place soon.
yeah.
And I don't think they're going to go anywhere. Nicole and Travis, they are in it. And like you, I think Nikki and Kim and Tim and Danny, they may not win the whole thing, but I don't think they're going to go anywhere for a while. I'm with you. Allie and Ashley, they're not getting any airtime. They're not providing anything to the story. I think it's been set. They're out of here. And then I think Leo and Jamal, they're having a good time, but yeah,
They're having a good time.
that's
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
That's about it.
With their girls.
Yep.
So,
Where can they find me?
Yes.
They can find me on Twitter at James Wallington and on Instagram at Mr. James Walling.
and you can check out his conversation with Marie.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Follow
Check
me
it
on
out,
Twitter
yeah.
to figure out what I'm tweeting Marie. Reepsicle, at Reepsicle is her Twitter name, actually.
And you can find me at JessXOXO Carroll, RRLL.
I love that. RRL. And you can find me, Justin Nichols, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, the whole thing at Justin J. Nichols. That's it.
Have a great Halloween.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.